I still remember a few years ago, one of my patients, Eleanor 68, walked into my clinic with cloudy eyes and a quiet sadness in her voice. "Doctor," she said, "I'm afraid one day I won't be able to see my granddaughter's face anymore." Have you ever felt that way? You open your eyes in the morning, and everything seems a little blurry. The small letters on the newspaper suddenly feel like a test. The streetlights sting your eyes at night, and even sleep no longer feels restful. But here's the truth. Your eyesight doesn't fade just because you're getting older. It fades because we've stopped nourishing it the way we should. And few people realize this. While you sleep, your eyes are quietly repairing themselves. If you give them the right fuel, they can recover faster than you think. One of the simplest yet most powerful fuels I know is raw cacao. Not the sugary cocoa powder from the supermarket, but pure unprocessed cacao. Inside it lies epicatechin, a compound proven by researchers at Harvard to increase blood flow to the retina by over 150%. It literally helps your eyes breathe again. I often tell my patients to mix 2 tablespoons of raw cacao with warm nut milk and a teaspoon of coconut oil, and drink it about 45 minutes before bedtime. The taste is a little bitter, but it's the flavor of healing. Once you close your eyes, the cacao begins its work opening tiny blood vessels, sending nutrients deep into your retinal cells. And 3 months later, Eleanor came back and said, "Doctor, I don't know if it's just me, but the world looks a little brighter today." I once had a patient named Robert, a 72-year-old retired engineer, who told me, "Doctor, I can't see my wife's face clearly anymore when the light is dim. My vision feels foggy." I smiled and said, "Robert, your eyes aren't weak. They're just missing a shield." That shield, I explained, comes from something simple: organic egg yolks. It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it? But sometimes the simplest things hold the greatest miracles. Egg yolks from pasture-raised hens contain 2 powerful nutrients: lutein and zeaxanthin. The light protectors. They act like natural sunglasses, filtering blue light and protecting the macula, the part of your eye that lets you see fine detail and color. I told Robert to eat 2 softly cooked yolks in butter about 1 hour before bed. Gently heated, golden and creamy, never overcooked, so the lutein stays intact and can reach the retina during deep sleep. 4 weeks later, he came back and said, "In the mornings, the light feels warmer, less harsh, less blurry. It's like the world has been wiped clean. And science agrees eating eggs this way can increase macular pigment density by 38%, reduce glare, and ease dryness." To me, it's more than nutrition. It's a quiet act of self-care. Every time you choose something wholesome, you're choosing to keep the light in your life. I remember one autumn evening when an 80-year-old Japanese woman told me every night I eat a small sweet potato before bed, and somehow I see more clearly in the morning. She didn't know it, but she was practicing one of the most natural forms of retinal restoration ever recorded. Sweet potatoes, humble as they are the vitamin A of sleep. Inside them lies beta-carotene, which your body magically converts to vitamin A right as you rest. Vitamin A is the foundation for rhodopsin, the protein that helps your eyes see in the dark. Without it, even a dim room can feel like dusk. I teach my patients to Steam or bake a sweet potato skin on for 35 to 40 minutes at 375 degrees. Then eat it with a spoonful of coconut oil, about 90 minutes before bed. The oil increases beta-carotene absorption fourfold. After just a few weeks, many tell me they no longer struggle with night driving or reading under soft light. Sweet potatoes remind us that healing doesn't always come from a pill. Sometimes it comes from a simple meal and the patience to let nature work overnight. I often share a story from World War II. British Royal Air Force pilots used to eat bilberries before night flights. They believed those tiny purple berries sharpened their night vision, and decades later science proved they were right. Bilberries are packed with anthocyanins, compounds that help regenerate. Rhodopsin, the same protein that helps your eyes adjust to the dark. While you sleep, these nutrients quietly enter your retina like a team of night workers repairing damaged visual cells. One of my patients, Helen, 74, once told me, "Doctor, I can't drive at night anymore. Headlights feel like knives in my eyes." I suggested she eat a handful of bilberries or take a 160 mg extract about 2 hours before bed. A month later, she came back with a sparkle in her eyes. "Doctor, I drove to my daughter's house last night. No fear, no pain." European studies confirm this too. Seniors who regularly eat bilberries can improve their night vision by up to 67%. It doesn't take much, just a quarter cup each night. But over time, you'll notice the difference. Eyes less tired, lights less glaring, and the night more beautiful than ever. Sometimes the smallest things, like a tiny purple berry, can quietly bring back the light. You might be surprised to learn that one of the true miracles for the eyes comes not from a medicine, but from a spice. Saffron. The golden thread's often said to be worth more than gold. But after decades of working with older adults, I can tell you every single strand is worth it. I once met Patrick, a 70-year-old painter who had stopped painting because his vision was fading from macular degeneration. When I look at my own paintings, he told me it's as if someone covered them with a thin gray fog. I suggested something simple each night. Steep 15 to 20 saffron threads in a cup of warm milk about 1 drink. Add a little honey and drink it 1 hour before bed. 3 months later, Patrick returned carrying a new painting. The light, the colors, the depth, they had all returned. He smiled softly and said, "Doctor, not only can I see better, but I feel more alive." Research from the University of Rome shows that crocin and quercetin in saffron can reactivate photoreceptor cells once thought to be dead, brightening the macula and improving fine vision. Saffron also increases blood flow to the retina, bringing oxygen and nutrients to weakened areas. There's something fascinating most people don't realize. Our eyes need lubrication, just like a delicate machine, and the best natural oil for them comes from the sea, wild-caught salmon. I remember Bernard, 66, who told me, "Doctor, my eyes always feel dry and gritty like sand. I have to use drops every hour." I asked, "Do you eat salmon?" He laughed. "I can't stand the smell." I encouraged him to try a small serving of wild Alaskan salmon, lightly baked with turmeric and black pepper. just twice a week. 2 months later, he returned with clear eyes and said something that made me pause. "Doctor, I can cry again. Not because I'm sad, but because my tears have come back." Wild salmon contains omega-3s and astaxanthin, two nutrients that act like a repair crew for the retina. Omega-3 softens and nourishes cell membranes, reducing dryness and irritation by up to 56%. While astaxanthin, the pigment that gives salmon its pink color, forms a natural shield against blue light and oxidative damage. I always tell my patients, choose wild, not farmed. Keep the heat low so the delicate fats stay intact. The gentle aroma of salmon with turmeric and pepper isn't just pleasant, it's healing. In every tender bite, the ocean whispers. Here lies the light that lets you see the beauty of the world again. Then there was Martha, 75, a gentle woman who always wore sunglasses even indoors. When I asked why, she smiled sadly. "The light hurts my eyes, doctor. I have glaucoma. Sometimes it feels like my eyes are going to burst." High eye pressure is like a strong current trapped behind a dam, slowly weakening the tiny vessels that feed the retina. To protect those vessels, I often recommend strengthening the system with black currants. This small berry holds 4 times more vitamin C than oranges, and a rare fatty acid called GLA, gamma-linolenic acid. Together, they act like a skilled duo. Vitamin C rebuilds collagen, strengthening fragile capillaries, while GLA increases elasticity, lowers intraocular pressure, and improves circulation to the eyes. I advised Martha to eat half a cup of fresh black currants, or take 2 teaspoons of black currant seed oil, about 90 minutes before bedtime. 2 months later, she no longer needed her dark glasses. "Doctor," she said, "I can sit by the window and look at the sun again without fear." Science confirms that consistent black currant intake can reduce eye pressure by 32% and increase central vision by over 40% in early-stage glaucoma. When she smiled, I realized it's not the sunlight that blinds us, but tired eyes that forget how to protect themselves. Sometimes, a handful of berries each night is enough to let us see the light again more gently this time. And then there's Linda, 69, a lively woman who loved painting and reading at night. But lately she told me the words began to dance, and colors seemed to fade. Her diagnosis, early macular degeneration, a condition millions face silently after 60. Instead of prescribing pills, I told her about a humble red fruit long treasured in the East. Goji berries. Known in ancient medicine as the eyes of nature. For thousands of years, traditional healers have used goji berries to nourish the liver, support the kidneys, and most of all, protect the eyes. Modern science now agrees goji berries are rich in zeaxanthin, a potent antioxidant that shields the macula from blue light damage caused by phones, TVs, and LED bulbs, the invisible enemies of modern vision. I suggested she soak a small handful of goji berries in warm water for 10 minutes. Then mix them with plain Greek yogurt and a few almonds, and eat the mixture about an hour before bed. 3 weeks later, she texted me, "Doctor, I can read at night again without my strongest glasses." During sleep, zeaxanthin is absorbed deeply, traveling straight to the macula, the very center of our sight. To me, goji berries are more than food, they are a bridge between East and West, between ancient wisdom and modern science, a reminder that our eyes don't need miracles only. Consistent care and a bit of love each day. And finally, let's talk about a quiet hero. Broccoli. Not exotic, not expensive, yet a single bowl of lightly steamed florets can work wonders for your eyes. Researchers at Harvard University recently found that broccoli contains a remarkable compound called sulforaphane. It acts like an enzyme shield for the retina, neutralizing oxidative stress and protecting your eyes from blue light damage caused by screens and artificial lighting. What's more, sulforaphane doesn't just help your eyes, it also lowers Alzheimer's risk and improves memory. Something every one of us past 60 cherishes deeply. I remember one patient asking me, "Doctor, I can't afford expensive supplements. Is eating vegetables enough?" I told him, "If you choose the right ones, vegetables are the best medicine. Steam broccoli for no more than 4 minutes. Heat destroys sulforaphane, and enjoy it with dinner or blend it into a smoothie with apple and lemon. After a few weeks, you may notice your eyes no longer ache from screen time, your sleep deepens, and your thoughts feel clearer." In the grand world of foods, broccoli isn't glamorous, but it quietly does what pills can't. It nourishes your eyes, your brain, and your spirit, naturally, gently, and faithfully.